Okay. Welcome to the New Creators Podcast, episode 3. We are back after another 2-week break, and we have a guest. His name is Perrin. He is a graphic designer, primarily of sports branding. Perrin, why don't you introduce yourself a little further?
All right, so hi guys, I'm Perrin. Great to be here. Very excited to have a good time. I'm mostly, like you said, mostly a logo and branding designer. I also do primarily under like that tiny umbrella, like sports uniform design and stuff. Very fun.
Yeah. Also, I'm here.
Yeah, very cool. Yes, Sean's here as well. Ethan was not able to make it today. As far as we know, he's still asleep. So Perrin's here, and if Ethan decides to hop on later, then that will happen.
Hopefully I can fill in his shoes.
Yes. So Perrin's currently our temporary stand-in Ekman replacement.
Yeah, he's trying to take over the job now.
So let's.
I'm coming for your job,
taking
Ethan.
over the job of TNC host.
You better sleep with one eye open, Ethan.
Well, he is sleeping right now, so maybe he is.
That is true. That is true. Maybe he
Put
is.
the fear of God into that man.
Yeah. Sorry, as you're going.
So let's start. Yeah. So let's start with 10 questions, just so we can get to know Perrin a little better on the podcast.
Alrighty.
So I'll start. Me and Sean will just go back and forth. We'll come up with some basic questions.
Being attacked from both
and you can feel
sides.
free to. Yes, attack from both sides. You can feel free to skip anything you need to, though, if you feel like a question's too personal or you just don't.
Yeah, can I
know
get
the
your
answer.
address, please?
Yes, social security number.
Yeah.
Yes, all that.
Yeah.
3 little wacky digits in the back of my credit card.
Yeah, please.
My mother's maiden name.
Yeah.
Mother's maiden name, favorite cartoon. Oh no. Okay, so I will begin. So let's first start. What got you into design, and when was that?
Okay, so I think it's a bit difficult to answer because like I remember as far back as I remember when I was like 4 or 5 when I first started like getting into sports, I would like, print out like coloring pages of like teams' logos and I would color them in and I'd try like to draw them from hand, and so I was really obsessed with that for like a couple of years, but I didn't like.
That's honestly.
Yeah, I think that's where
really
it
cool,
started.
Like,
I think that's where
my brother is kind of also obsessed with doing the same thing right now, and every time I see him like drawing up a sports branding, I'm like, oh, and he's like 10 or 11, and so every time I see that, I'm like, oh, Perrin would love this.
That's how it starts, yeah. But then I never really like considered it like a career until I was like 10 or 11 or 12, because I started out when I was first starting out on Scratch back in like 2014 when I was like 10. I started making really bad logos for people because that's how it be when you're that young. And
that is absolutely how it
I got some really like positive feedback from some really nice friends I had back in the day, and those guys, by the way. But they were like, "Hey, you're really good at this. You have legitimate talent." And that's when I thought, "Oh, I could like do this as a career." And so now I'm doing that as a career. Nice. So that's really cool, I think.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So you said you do that as a career. So this is not a question, but you can just like elaborate just a bit, like what. So what do you do? Like, what do you mean by that as a career? Like, what are you currently working on?
Okay, so as a career is a bit of a stretch considering like I'm not employed anywhere as a designer, but I have done a couple commissions for people. Like,
yeah, see, I
for
can see
payment.
that.
I've made people logos. I could describe myself as a freelancer, but it's a bit of a stretch.
Okay.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
I've done 4 or 5 commissions, I think. I've got one right now, 2 right now actually. I'm doing a logo for a client from my church, and I'm doing one for my school's esports club, which is really fun. They're gonna pay me.
Ooh, how much you getting
Very
paid?
cool.
I'm
Okay,
excited about
nice.
it.
If that's
I
not
don't know
too
yet.
personal. Oh,
I have no idea. We'll see.
I feel that when you get started, that is absolutely a struggle. Knowing how much you're getting paid,
Yeah.
it's an actual problem.
yeah. Especially.
If it's
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta charge I kind of have a set rate I usually charge people. It's not too expensive, because I'm, still only 18. But Yeah. It does help having like people from my church back home know me as, oh, this is the guy who did this guy's logo. I should ask him. And so I have people come ask me, which is really cool.
Yeah, I hard relate
That
to
is super
that
neat.
actually, because
Mm-hmm.
back when I was in high school, everyone, a lot of my pals and that would ask me to do like logos and other stuff for them, because I'm like, oh, we need a logo for something. Nah, go and ask Sean, he'll do it. And I never got paid for it, but I just did it because I found it fun. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Sure.
I heavily relate to that. But
Nice.
yeah, I might as well
Okay.
ask a question anyway. Why are you such a stan of Feathers McGraw?
I've always liked penguins since I was very, very little. I forget exactly when. It was like 3.5, maybe almost 4. And I absolutely fell in love with penguins. I thought they were the coolest thing since sliced bread. And we had like the complete set of all the Wallace and Gromit films. And so we watched those all the time. And Feathers McGraw, as you might know, is from Wallace and Gromit, The Wrong Trousers.
Yep.
And he's the coolest guy on the planet.
Yeah.
And so I had a bit of a resurgence in my fanhood of Feathers McGraw in recent years, because I forgot how cool he was until I was, 16 to 17.
Hell yeah.
I recovered from my
cool.
childish ways.
Embracing the inner child. Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice. You got a question, Micah?
Absolutely. Yeah. What do you think is the hardest part about your design process?
Yeah. Getting the first concept down for sure. Like getting the first
Yeah.
sketches down. It's super tough. Like just either having other projects to do and never being able to get around to the commission, or just like knowing I have to work on it but not having any ideas. And so I just sit at the blank document for a long time, and then the commissioner waits for a bit, and I feel bad about it because I don't have anything.
I feel that, honestly.
I don't have
Yeah.
anything to give him, but I'm trying here. It doesn't look like it, but I'm trying.
Yeah, I feel that.
Uh,
Yeah.
For that, Sean, you're
Yeah,
up.
actually, to add on to that, then, there's another question. What do you find to be the best method of trying to get an idea? Like, do you draw stuff on paper? Do you just kind of design stuff on your programs, or how do you actually come up with your ideas?
It depends sometimes. So a lot of the time I'm just like looking at other logos and stuff on Google or Dribble for inspiration, and I come up with an idea based on what I see there, and then usually I hop right into Affinity and sketch it out.
What's that
But
quote?
Other
what's
times,
that quote?
yeah,
The great artist is the one who steals.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Inspiration's
steal
key.
ideas from Dribble.
Borrow.
I see creative ideas. I'm just like, ooh, this is good. I should see
Sure.
if I can incorporate this in my own way.
Yeah, I get
That
you.
way I can get away with copyright infringement.
Yeah. If you want to, by the way, TNC does not, endorse any sort of plagiarism. So if you want to sue anyone, sue Perrin.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I'm more guilty of stealing code from Stack Overflow. So
Again, if you
Honestly,
want to sue,
that's
if you want to sue anyone,
that's the
sue
problem.
Micah for that. Don't sue the podcast.
Don't sue me either.
Just don't sue the
You can sue
podcast.
me for other things, but not that.
I wonder if people can actually sue. I don't think people can even sue the podcast because we're not officially like a company or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's pretty
Who
funny.
knows? You never know.
We should make an LLC. We should turn this into an LLC. Just
TNC LLC.
TNC LLC.
Exactly.
That's an awful acronym, and I love it.
It does. It has a bit of a rhyme to it though, like TNC LLC. It does kind of have a rhyme to it.
Mm-hmm.
At least I thought it did.
Nice.
Anyway, you're up.
That's funny.
Micah.
Yeah, I'm up. Okay. What's your favorite work that you've done? Favorite branding or work in general?
So definitely the massive fictional football league project I have is probably
Yeah.
my favorite thing I've
Yeah,
ever
that's
made.
good.
Period. For sure.
Yeah, it's
Just
really
since
impressive.
I've poured countless hours into that thing. I have no idea how long I've worked on that. I think technically the first sketch I made in a notebook with a team that ended up translating into this league at some point or another was in like spring of 2013, I think. I believe that's how far back that league has gone. So
Wow.
Gotcha.
That's a lot.
I've been working on this thing for a long time. So originally it was really, really bad and like jokey teams for a lot of it. Like some of them I'd played like somewhat seriously, but a bunch of teams are like, I had the teams I thought sounded cool, and I had very distinctly had teams that were in locations that I didn't like as much, and they had ugly names. Like I had a team called the Pittsburgh Zeppelins, and they were always bad, for example. And then, so it was like that for a while, and it was all like crude sketches and notebooks for a bit. And then eventually I put them into like digital design using Scratch, using the vector editor, the best design program of all time.
Definitely.
Oh,
100%.
And then a couple of years later, once I got Affinity, I thought, it was before I got Affinity actually, I thought, all right, I'm going to try to make these look like respectable and give them respectable names so it looks like a real league. And then eventually I did that for a bit, used mostly plagiarized logos from Google, never shared it, of course.
Again, if you want to sue parents, sue parents.
Hey, I recolored it. That counts as
Oh, so yeah, that
transformative.
protects it, yeah.
Yeah. Recolored it. Changed the shape sometimes.
Ooh.
Maybe flipped it horizontally.
That's really
I was on
transformative.
top of things. And then I started doing stuff completely by hand in Affinity. And then it snowballed from there. Now I've got, a couple of years later, I've got 34 of 36 teams done. I had more. I had up to 40. I got rid of a couple because I wasn't happy with my division alignment and just didn't have any ideas for some teams. So I got rid of some.
Wow.
But yeah,
That's a lot of teams.
that's where I'm at. I'm still not done yet. San Francisco and Jacksonville is still giving me trouble. So I'll be finishing them at some point. I have more ideas for them than I did, but we're not quite there. We'll see.
Cool. The next question I've got for you is a bit more general, and that is, what advice would you give to someone who's just starting out in design? What would you say they should do to try and improve?
Probably learn from the pros. Like, I think the best thing that helped me was like jump from somewhat like below average to somewhat decent was to like, again, look at stuff on Dribbble and Google and look at what professional designers are doing in your field and figure out how to replicate that. Once you learn how they do it, it's easier to do that with your own personal spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that applies to not just design, but like a lot of areas of art. You
Yeah.
can learn like
Sure.
what goes into making something. It's a lot easier to do it, and then it's a lot easier to know how it works and break the rules in a way that's unique to you,
Yeah.
I guess.
Actually, that's another thing. Just like, it's not like another question, but like a kind of add on to it then. What would you say, what is the best way for someone to come up with their own style? Because, for example, yourself, you have quite a distinctive look with your designs. I feel like when you see your stuff, you can tell it's by you. So I'm curious, how did you develop even your current style?
I think it was mostly coincidence, to be perfectly honest.
Just complete accident.
think-
Whoops, I tripped and I made my own style.
I think there's like a lot of my logo ideas follow a process of like, combining a couple elements. Usually I slap it on like a shield of some kind. I use like colors and stuff that are distinct to the location or whatever. And then from there, usually it all follows the same similar style. Like a bunch of the teams in my league project have like similar logo structure. One just because I guess I like shields a lot and like badges and stuff. So a lot of my teams have badges in their logos.
Uh-huh.
But also because I guess just because like front facing stuff is a lot easier to draw.
Yeah, it's true.
It is true.
Yeah, but like, I don't think I'm consciously aware of like, oh, this doesn't fit with my style. I need to make it look more like my style. I think it's more of, the things I gravitate to happen to happen to follow the same like general, style.
Cool.
It's really solid.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, we are not at 10 questions. We're at 6 questions, but we've already been recording for a significant period of time.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and move on because we're gonna learn a little bit more about Perrin a little bit later.
For sure.
But for now, let's talk a little bit about just some analytics of the podcast. We're pretty open, so we want y'all to know how the podcast is doing. So we're doing really good, honestly. We've got all-time around. I'm estimating around on all platforms around 150 plays total.
Ooh.
That's good.
Which is around 75 plays per episode, meaning probably our audience is about probably about 50 people.
That's not bad.
Which is
at
yeah,
all.
I think that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
For tiny little startup podcast, that's really good.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm really proud of how far we've come already, and I'm definitely excited to see what the future holds.
Yeah. Massive thanks to
Yeah.
everyone who's been listening along for the last few episodes. Hope you keep hanging on because hopefully it'll get better and better.
For sure, we do. Yeah, we do appreciate that, of course.
Shout out to
The
my
listeners
mom
are
if you're listening,
who we
and I
make it
know you
for.
are.
Let's go.
My mom said she'd listen,
Let's
so
go.
she's not listening. I'm gonna be
Hi, parents,
mildly
mom.
disappointed in her.
Hello. Oh God.
So we're now at the segment where we just talk about interesting stuff that we've been doing. So Sean, why don't you go first, since we were just talking about a bunch of stuff that Perrin's been working on.
Yeah. Give me the spotlight for a second. So I've been working on something. It's not really a big thing, but I thought I'd talk about it. So I'm on a platform called Waste of Money. You two are as well. It's a
great platform.
Yeah, it's an independent. It's like Twitter, but basically not bad. It's developed by. I hope I'm not butchering the name, but Jeffalo. I don't know if that's how you say it, but that's how I say it in my head. So
that's how I say it.
That's what I've
Jeffalo,
always
yeah.
imagined in my head. Yeah.
yeah, okay. So I'm not. Hopefully,
It's
we're
like a
all
buffalo,
yeah,
but Jeff.
Yeah. So either we're all butchering it or we're all right. So who knows? Anyway, so he developed the platform, and it's been growing quite steadily for a while now, and I've got 2 accounts on it. So I've got my main account, which is just my data account, and then I've also got my Oriali account, which I initially used just to share like memes and jokes and everything. But now I'm moving on to also sharing designs and just other random thoughts regarding creativity, because I feel like that's better use of an account that basically just sits dormant. So that's what I'm mostly working on at the moment. And yeah, so if you're interested, you can follow that on Waste of Money.
Very cool. I'll tell you what, guess who's just showed up? It is Ethan Dutson. Let's go. Welcome to the podcast again, Ethan.
I gave you a clap. I even gave you a clap in there.
I think my applause is too quiet.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just woke up, bro. Like your call, right? When you called me, that did nothing this morning.
Oh boy.
See, I try to avoid calling you because I hate waking people up from it with a phone call. So that's really annoying to me. I don't like being woken up with a phone call, but I did figure I'd just shoot you a call. But yeah, welcome to the episode. You've so far just missed basically the introduction and us learning a little bit more about Perrin. But I figure you can probably just go back and listen to that when the episode comes out.
Oh man, but I want to know who Perrin is. Come on, man.
Who are you, Perrin?
I'm an enigma. I'm an enigma to everyone except to Ethan specifically and no one else.
Oh yeah. So who is Perrin? What's this Perrin figure you're talking about? Are you okay, Ethan? Do you
I don't
need a
know.
therapist?
I've never
I don't know
heard
who
of him.
Perrin is. I don't know who that is.
No, I don't know who
There
it
was
is.
never any Perrin. The real Perrin was the friends we made along the way. Unless you're Micah. And by Micah, I mean
That's
Ethan. I keep getting
actually
the
true.
names mixed up on my bad.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
Perrin is a mystery, I guess.
Sean was
Well,
just talking about his Oriali Waste of Money account, which is an amazing,
Go follow it.
an amazing account.
I
That's waste of money wasteof.money/Ariali.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing account, very much worth a follow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Go
Yes,
follow
it
it now,
is
Ethan.
top notch.
Okay.
Or else Perrin will come for you.
Oh, dude.
I'm coming for your job. I'm also
I-
coming for your bones.
Gonna come your bones. What?
What?
I was saying it earlier. You better sleep with one eye open, Ethan.
Okay,
true.
okay. Parent.
That is true.
Hi.
If you want my job, I'll just send you in as a referral. Come on, man. Give me the
we can talk it
opportunity to
out.
make money off of this.
All right, we
That's
can talk it out
valid,
later.
actually.
You know, hey, we can fight. We can we can organize a fight and then charge people like $30 just to watch, and then we can make it a tie and then split the earnings.
Ooh, yeah.
Y'all are planning some amazing scams over here.
Yeah.
You know,
I've been in the business too
I
long.
think I think Perrin and I can totally be vibing right now. So
Heard of Slippin' Jimmy? Get ready for ski and peeing.
I'm sorry. I can't even keep composure, man. This is too much.
Oh boy. This is kind of what I hoped Perrin would bring to the podcast, is somewhat of a comedic figure.
I'm dying over here. Oh,
Oh boy.
okay.
But let's get a little bit back on
No,
track.
we really derailed there.
We really derailed
bit,
there,
little
but
bit,
that is
little
perfectly
bit.
fine.
Oh,
you're welcome.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Glad to be of
So,
service.
since Ethan just popped in, Ethan, is there anything real quick you want to say that you've been working on?
Oh, dude. Oh my.
okay then. All right.
So I
then.
do understand that you just
Okay,
woke up.
okay,
I definitely,
okay.
I definitely
Being-
feel that.
Being completely honest, I like second week at my new job, and oh my goodness, customer service is interesting.
It is. It is.
I
Yeah,
had
that's
this
an
call
interesting field to be
yesterday,
in for sure.
and it was insane. This lady rambled on for like 40 minutes without letting me talk.
Customer service is like
Yeah,
that sometimes.
that's customer service for you.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's good money. So like, I got like a free hour of work.
That is true.
All right.
Okay, very cool.
I haven't worked on.
Well, you know,
a
I
lot of
understand that
things.
that takes a long, work always takes time. Again, it's very similar. Like I haven't worked on like itchy since like I got to school at all. So I feel you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk a little bit about some of the stuff I've been doing, which is mainly related to school. Well, I was showing in the Discord the other day. My school, Mississippi College, has a new branding and logo, which I sent to Perrin for him to approve.
That's pretty good.
See if he liked that or not. Yeah. The branding is pretty solid. I think it's a really neat little word mark, and it's a good improvement on the old logo, I think. However, the website is not good.
Oh, boy.
It's really not good, and like it used to be good, which makes me very sad because it's no longer good at all.
Ouch.
But if y'all want to take a look at it, it's mc.edu. I'll send it in the podcast channel. But anyway, it's there's just a lot of things that are just like,
that's not great.
no, it's really not. And it
There's-
used to be so good. Like there's
There's
some cool parts
There's
of it
some
for
good
sure.
stuff in here, but it just doesn't work super well. You know?
Yeah. Especially
So-
the main thing I noticed, if you scroll down the page, you see these segments where there's like an image on the left and then there's like a like some text on the right. But that text is not even slightly centered, and there's
you're
like
right.
so much white space, and it's not centered, and it looks really weird.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So when are you gonna make them a new website?
So I've already actually had some people ask me that, and the answer is probably never. However, I am working on an Instagram reel, which if y'all don't know what that is, it's similar to like It's like a TikTok, but basically on Instagram. I'm working on an Instagram reel that is just explaining everything that's wrong with the site.
What you
so
gotta do,
hopefully,
what you gotta do is you gotta befriend the dean or the chair of the design program and be like, hey, this is awful. You should pay me to do it. And then they'll say no, and you won't get anywhere. But at least you tried. And if they say yes, then you can redesign the website.
yeah. Well, see, that's the thing, though. Again, like, I wouldn't redesign this. I think a lot of it's really cool. But then again, I also think that there are a lot of problems that they could have dealt with.
Okay, yeah. So
anyway,
the word mark, the like the new logo is kind of cool. I love how they fixed their their OG banners from a stock photo to another stock photo.
That's how you do it. Stock
What do
photos
you
out
mean?
of the way
Wait, where is this?
in the podcast channel.
Podcast chat.
Oh, no, that's. Wait, let me see here. Let me
Well,
see.
look at that quality photo. I can see the individual pixels.
No, those are not. That's actually not. That's actually not a. That's actually not a stock photo. I actually know.
I
some of
know
those
they're
people.
not stock photos, but they look like stock photos.
They
Totally.
do. And what I love about the
Yeah, well,
okay,
that's-
scroll down a little bit. One of the photos, the one that like is quoting a guy called Victor. I love how you can see like the individual pixels on it as well. It looks great.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Again, that's probably just archive.org's compression.
Nah,
but
it's
anyway,
funny anyway.
yeah. So like their
Who knows?
website. This is their old website, and I personally think it looks pretty good. I liked the old website. I think it was
Yeah.
pretty solid.
All they needed to do was slap the new branding onto the old website, and he would have been golden.
I would agree with that. Yeah. But anyway, we got this monstrosity. So this is slightly related to the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is I built I think most of y'all have already seen this before, but I built a website for my cafeteria.
Yes.
However, now if you go to it now, you'll see a message that says temporarily down. The new MC website currently does not provide the daily cafe.
Oh,
menu."
wow.
So, long story short, all this work I did literally turned to nothing because
been
that
sabotaged.
menu is no longer on the website. I've been sabotaged. So, I'm not even really sure where to go with this, but like most likely I'm gonna have to contact the Department of Marketing and
That's just
ask people,
tacky.
because I believe that's who is in charge of the website. But I'm just gonna have to ask them. I'm like, are y'all gonna put the menu back on the website? Because it's nice to know what's to eat for that day.
That was perfect
anyway,
timing.
Until then,
That was
but until then, yeah, they just completely sabotaged my program and also made it where you cannot find what to eat. So
and even worse.
yeah, it's annoying.
I know what's even worse. Parents sneezed. Bless you, by the way.
It wasn't a sneeze, it was a cough.
Sound like a
but
sneeze on this end. So.
Oh,
well,
Perrin, my
it's a
guy.
sneeze
My
now.
throat's a bit sore.
Yeah, it's a sneeze now anyway.
Yeah.
I'll try
Well,
to- I'll try to
okay.
make it happen.
Who's up? Okay, Perrin, you're up. Perrin, you're up. So you can talk a little bit more about your. You talked a little about the logo commissions. Why don't you explain a little bit more what the NCAA redesign project is?
Okay, so I have undergone a project that I will likely never complete. You know, it's always good to have those. Where I'm gonna try and redesign the uniforms of every single NCAA FBS Division 1A team. There
So
are currently
I'm not a
100
sports dude.
There are
Explain what exactly is
131.
that?
This is college football.
College football. Gotcha.
This is, you know how in college football there's a million teams? I'm doing all of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's currently
Holy-
131. There's 131 of them, except I also like realigned the divisions, and because I wanted it to be like really even, instead of 131, I had to get rid of 3. So now there's 128, just so I can have like 8 even conferences of 16 colleges. I got rid of a couple schools, so I got rid of. Apologies to anyone who goes to these schools, by the way. It's nothing personal. I got rid of James Madison University because they literally just joined the FBS this year. So they're the last one in, first one out, you know? And then got rid of the University of Alabama, Birmingham, mostly because completely
some-
arbitrary reasons, but also they're kind of really bad at football, and also they didn't have football for a couple years, so if they can't make up their mind about football, I don't want them. And the third
I've actually got some friends who go to UIB, so that's funny.
The
My
third school.
roommate's girlfriend actually goes there.
Oh, well,
Oh, well.
I guess tell her.
Now I know they're bad at football.
The third school I got rid of is UMass Amherst, which is a school that is very close, very nearby. And I know people who went there. They would not bat an eye if they got demoted from Division 1. They should not be Division 1. They're like 1-11 every single year. It's insane how bad they are.
Remember when it was
So I
nothing?
got rid of
Remember when
them.
like parents said at the start of this that it was nothing personal, and now it's gotten very
It's
personal.
a little bit personal. Just a tiny bit personal. I know people who went there, but they would be perfectly fine with this.
All right, fair enough then.
So yeah, so that's what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
I mentioned the commission projects already, I think.
Yeah, you already
So
did.
yeah,
So.
I think that's all I'm doing.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I probably will never
Okay,
finish
well,
this
let's-
project, but
Nice.
it's worth
Yeah,
fun
I mean,
trying.
honestly, there's a bunch
School.
of projects where
I'm
I
losing
probably won't
inspiration after
finish.
5 teams. Don't worry about it. It's part of the process.
That's good. It is part of the process.
No,
you
parent,
stop and you
parent,
start,
parent.
and you stop and you start. Yeah.
You had better
Yes.
do Utah State University.
Oh, I'm gonna do Utah State University. Don't worry. I actually really like their uniforms, by the way. I think I
Really?
really like this fun striping pattern they use. It's really nice.
It's cool to know that you like this school
I like the
that go to.
bluish sandy gray that they use. It's really unique.
Oh, man, yeah.
Is it like
I kind of want
like
you to
cadet
actually,
blue or something like
Kay,
that, or
what you should do is redesign Big Blue.
Hmm?
Redesign Big Blue.
Is
Who's
it the
Big Blue?
Who's Big Blue?
Me, I'm Big
you
Blue.
Know that you know the
Sean
mascot?
is Big Blue.
Oh, the mask. Oh, I cannot do that. I'm sorry.
Oh.
If I was redesigning, oh man,
Oh.
I could never.
Ah.
I feel like if I had to see that many college mascots, like one after the other, for like however long it takes until I finish this project, I would probably need to go to a mental hospital. I would have a nervous breakdown.
That's honestly true. That's valid.
Even where, okay, I have not seen Big Blue, so I don't know how bad he is, but I'm sure he's not as bad as Big Red, who is the University of Western Kentucky's mascot. He is horrifying.
Really?
I have some friends who go to UWK.
Oh, nice.
That's funny.
It is
Micah,
horrifying.
you have friends
Let's see
everywhere.
that. Yeah.
Now I want to
Micah.
see this. Wait, Big
Okay,
Red.
hang on. I'm trying to. I don't know if this is gonna work.
Oh my god.
Holy crap! That is scarring.
Oh my god. I had like
I
a.
do not
So
like
that's
Big,
Big Red,
That
which
is
I also learned
ridiculous.
as I was googling him is also a
Like-
knockoff, an
What?
off-brand soda.
Wow. That is horrifying.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
He looks
That
like
really is scary.
Yeah.
he looks like if Elmo's cousin had gone to jail for like 30 years.
That's
Wow.
actually true.
Like, wow.
That is terrifying. It looks like my sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's actually scary. I'm not a fan of that at all.
Yeah. Maybe
That's
I should
funny.
delete the message just so you don't have to look at it. Nah, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, we're gonna ban you from the server just for that.
Dang flat.
I'm just gonna post this in the announcements channel for no reason, just
Oh.
with no context.
Yes,
Nice.
yes, yes.
Do it.
Let's say
I'll do it,
advertisement
I'll do
for
it.
This week's
Then
episode,
later-
and then no
later
one's gonna
we'll know-
listen.
Then we're gonna know. Then we're gonna know who actually,
Can I get access to the announcements channel,
Alright,
please?
we watch this.
I want to post
That's
this.
not too bad.
Yes. Let me see here.
That's not too
I'm gonna
bad.
actually turn on permissions for all the people with the TNC host role, so y'all can. shoot
All
over
right.
that.
Hopefully,
Okay, I've seen. Now that I'm looking at
Yeah.
Big Blue, he's not too bad. He's got a bit of a goofy looking
He's-
face,
he's-
but he's not. He's not scary.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say.
He's not the worst, but like if we could get the Param twist on it.
You don't want to see me
But-
try to do character design. I cannot draw faces. I would make him
Holy
worse.
crap,
I hate to
you
say
could- You could really improve Big Red.
Yeah,
I could
literally
Big Red.
drawing like anything.
I don't think I can touch Big Red. He's too iconic. at
You
this
can't
point.
touch Big Red because he's
He's sacred.
dangerous.
You can't touch
Like,
him. I feel
wow.
like if I try to redesign him, he's gonna show up at my house at 3 a.m. with a baseball bat.
Yeah,
Actually true.
it looks like one of those monsters, like one of those terrible like 3 a.m. YouTubers would have, like calling Big Red at 3 a.m.
Oh, dude, the 3 a.m. videos are absolutely amazing. Wait, I saw a great. Do y'all watch the Microwave
it's
Society
free
by
money.
any chance?
I feel like I've heard of them.
Okay, if you don't watch the Microwave Society, I think I've mentioned them on this podcast before, but they're a solid comedy YouTube channel. But I'll send this link. They reviewed 3 a.m. videos. And
That's awesome.
It's actually hilarious.
Oh my god, it's Among Us.
Anyway.
Among
Yes,
Us?
it's Among Us. We are very off topic
Yes.
again.
Also,
Um,
I can't.
It's
Wait, someone,
Let's jump-
Micah, you need to post Big Red on the announcements channel.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Wait,
will-
wait,
I
I feel like
we
we're
have
getting very off
access.
topic.
Micah, wait. So we're gonna have access to post on the announcements channel?
Yes, but don't.
I feel like that's good. I feel like that's a mistake.
Can you like give it to us? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
there
yes.
it is.
There it
That's
is.
my boy.
Oh wait, should I publish it? Should
Publish
I publish
it.
it?
Yes. Everyone needs to know about Big Red.
Wait, go to my server.
Boom! It is now.
Yes,
in
it's
Todd's
in my
Hangout
server.
and on
Yes.
this channel.
Oh,
Let's go.
perfect. Anyway, might as well move on, I suppose.
How many?
The deed has been done.
Okay. Yeah. So let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about some news we've seen lately. So, one of the weirdest things I've ever seen is this new iPad that
I
Apple
don't
released.
get it.
So Sean, you put that
Yep.
in there. Why don't you explain like the main? We are running a bit slim on time, so why don't you just explain the main issue
Okay.
with this?
Okay.
iPad?
The main
it's bad.
issue is it's more expensive than the previous one. So in the UK, it is £499 base model. That's with just base spec. So if you actually want to bump that up, it's 599, and then if you want to get the keyboard with it, the case, that's another £200. So, and then if you get the Apple Pencil, which by the way is the first gen pencil, which is the stupid one that plugs into the charging port and sticks out like a like a weapon, so you can use your iPad as like a skewer or something. And
You can use it as like a ping pong paddle.
yeah, and then you got the other issue where it's now using USB Type-C, which isn't an issue in of itself, but since it only has Apple Pencil support for the first generation, you have to also get an adapter from Lightning to USB-C
Oh, yes.
to charge it. So that's another £9.
Which, to be fair, so to be fair, the adapter is included.
Is it included? Okay, fair enough then.
in your base? In your base purchase, you get one adapter.
Just don't you dare
the-
lose
the
it.
That's
It's
not,
tiny.
that's not
is-
too bad.
So,
Yeah. And
That's like the
then the
least they
extra
could
ones
do.
are $9.
But like,
Oh, thank you, Tim Cook.
But it's actually like awful. Like there's so many things wrong. Like the price, like you said, the fact that still like okay, obviously this can't be exactly compared, but I have a Lenovo Chromebook Duet that is a Chrome OS like detachable. It's like very similar form factor. It's a little smaller than the base model iPad.
Yeah, do you have the,
And it came with a laptop folio, just like almost identical to the iPads.
Yeah.
And its total price, its total retail price, original retail price was $229.
Woo, that's cheap.
And that is,
That's a bargain.
yes,
man.
it's cheap, but also that's literally like the same price as just the keyboard on the Apple iPad.
And my
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the keyboard case for the new iPad is the same price, pretty much.
Yes. And then also just the fact that like they were too lazy to make like a USB-C Apple Pencil, or even better, just use the same like wireless charging mechanism they used on the iPad
Yep.
Pro. It just makes no sense. Like there's so many things. Like it didn't feel bad. It just felt lazy. Like what
And
are
yeah,
you
and-
doing? Like, why does this exist?
Exactly, because it's even stranger.
Who
Because
is it
if you were
for?
to buy, say, all the accessories, so including the pencil and the case with the new iPad, it's about the price as a Pro. You can just get an iPad Pro for that price. Just get the Pro.
Yeah, just get a Pro.
It's
Just get a
better.
Pro.
Also, another thing I have an issue with, and this is just iPads in general, I don't know what everyone else thinks, but the way Apple is advertising it as a computer, I don't think it's a computer, because it can't run any computer class operate like, any stuff on it. At least a Chromebook, like your Chromebook, it's running Chrome,
Yeah.
like desktop Chrome at least. That is, you can still do computer stuff. An iPad, I can't do the stuff I do on my iPad, even the most basic stuff, the same way I do it on my computer. I don't see the iPad as a computer.
Which, guess what? Also, we can't even use the actual Chrome browser engine because guess what? Apple's too proprietary and doesn't want anyone using a non-Safari browser
Yep.
engine, which is another massive problem that I'd love to get into on another episode. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
Every browser is
okay.
just Safari reskinned.
pretty much.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
annoying.
See,
It's
and like
annoying.
with this iPad is not a computer, right?
It's
Totally
not.
agree with it. I have the M1 iPad Air with the
Okay.
smart keyboard. So yeah, I spent a lot of money.
Poor financial decisions.
The best.
How is
yes.
I'm just curious. I'm curious. Is like so the M1 chip is a ridiculously powerful chip.
Yeah.
Is an M1 in an iPad even slightly
I feel that's
practical at
overkill.
all?
I just feel that's overkill
So
for an
I-
iPad.
I feel it's
If
extreme
I'm
overkill.
being honest, I have not noticed a difference. Like the only time you're really gonna notice is when you have an M1 in like a MacBook, and like in my MacBook Air, I've got the M2.
Okay,
And
nice.
that's so much faster, right?
Yeah.
The iPad
I don't think I
is
have.
like, it's a tablet.
think I-
Why does it have desktop? I mean, there's desktop Safari. There's Affinity, Affinity products. So like you can
Yeah.
still do some stuff.
Based.
They did finally
Definitely.
get to add
Like I say,
multitasking,
I'm not saying for some people it's not
but it
like a
kinda
computer,
sucks.
but
Yeah, no, I would not choose to use it as like a daily computer. I mean, I also bought one of those Lenovo Duets. I don't know if we have the same one, Micah, but is yours like the
Do you have
the slate
is-
with blue?
Yes, yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, I have that one. It's not
Yeah,
bad.
it's a solid device.
It's a solid Chromebook. That's actually what I use going through like senior year. It's just throwing it in my backpack.
For the price point, you get like a really solid machine. Like I got
Yeah.
mine used for like $110, and which is like an
Really?
absolute steal. Because again, that's literally like half the price of just the keyboard for the iPad, and it's a fully functioning
Yeah.
Chromebook tablet. It's got a
Yeah.
decent camera for
It's got Android.
video calls. It's got a decent keyboard. It's got Android app integration. It's got Linux integration.
Like, it's
so
so much-
it's
so much better,
actually like
right?
really nice.
The
Yeah.
iPad is smoother, but I wish it had those bells and whistles, other than being like, oh,
Yeah.
I feel like
software.
Apple is.
yay.
I feel like Apple's kind of like the Nintendo of tech, where basically all the products they put out are like really high quality, but they squeeze money out of every single square inch they can get. Like even if it's
That's a
like
good comparison.
even if it's like completely useless and horrible for the consumers, like
Yeah.
That's
with
true.
Nintendo,
Yeah.
you've got like Nintendo Online's horrible and stuff. I just thought that comparison out of nowhere. I'm not a huge tech guy, so I've been staying quiet most of the conversation, but I have heard of this before. I watched the Marquise Brownlee video a while ago about the new iPad.
Yeah.
But like I watch a Marquise Brownlee video about once every 3 or 4 months. But that's as much as
yeah.
It's valid.
So tell me, Perrin, what do you think of the M1 compared to the M2 chip? Is it,
I wouldn't know. Mostly, I don't know.
I was literally
I
just
have
joking,
noticed
yeah.
the difference between. I know what they are. I know I'm up to date on like the Apple product updates and stuff. But that's about it.
yeah.
I have seen the difference between like the M1 and whatever chip they had before the M series, because my current this laptop I have, this MacBook Pro, and the one I had before this, they had M1, which was a massive upgrade in every single way compared to my old laptop, which did not. I forget what year it was from, but it was like pretty old. It's been a massive step up.
Yeah.
So like,
I actually like how I like how you answered the question, even though I was just joking because you said you weren't a big tech guy.
I know.
No, that's totally.
I'm trying to make it sound like I'm a tech guy.
Yeah.
Just so I can feel
Yeah.
included.
All you have to do is sound like you know what you're talking about, and then you're golden.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So true.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about another Apple product, which is Apple Music, which is increasing its price. Sean, you want to fill us in on
So
that?
it's going up from $9.99 a month to $10.99 a month, which doesn't sound like much, but obviously that means it's $12 extra a year. Add that on, it could be it's a substantial amount of extra money if you actually think about it in bigger terms.
Yeah.
So
It's an extra $12 a year.
yeah. So another thing now is Spotify's now came out and said they are also considering doing the exact same increase. So premium will now be, I believe $9.99 now up to $10.99. But they haven't announced it yet, so it might not happen. But it's possible because I mean now Apple set the precedent, and Apple's very much a company known for setting precedents, a la the headphone jack.
Yeah.
So
It seems a bit weird to me that Spotify wouldn't like keep their price in hopes of like drawing new customers
That's-
in to Spotify.
See,
That seems a bit weird
I
to me.
think
I feel like that wouldn't happen.
So the reason I think that's, I feel like that's not gonna happen just because.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like
I'm
at
just
this
gonna
point, everyone who
say it,
uses
like,
Apple
Spotify
Music is
is
going to stick with Apple Music.
Exactly. And notice
matter
that
the price.
Yeah, so Apple Music.
I'd say as an Apple
Music is
user.
designed. Yeah, Apple Music is kind of designed for people that are just in that ecosystem. Like I don't
Yeah.
know anyone who's outside of the Apple ecosystem that uses Apple Music. Which, to be fair, the Apple ecosystem is huge. There's tons of people in it, but also at the same time, like most people I know use Spotify, even if they have iPhones, just because of like mainly the social aspect of it, like the fact that you can search people's
Yeah.
playlists, the fact that you can follow users, see what other people are listening to.
Yeah.
I think that social aspect adds a lot, and there's also just the fact that like Apple Music is very limited to where you can listen to it. Like the web player is not great, and there aren't many good apps for it if you're not on an Apple device. So
Yeah.
and Spotify's ridiculously good about app compatibility. They got stuff for Android Auto, they got stuff for CarPlay, they've got stuff for Roku, they've got stuff for Samsung Smart TVs, they've got stuff for Android TVs, they got stuff for Android, they got a great desktop app, they've got a great web app. So like
I mean,
they're
they even
kind
have
of
an app
everywhere. I think that's another big
for my
benefit for them.
TV.
What TV is yours?
It's a Hisense X Class, which is an Xfinity partnered with Hisense, and they've even got an app for that.
Yeah. So again, yeah, I think Spotify's cross-platform nature makes them a little more of a threat to Apple Music. But again, I could totally be wrong about that. But
The biggest thing holding back Spotify right now is there's no hi-fi option. There's only
Yeah.
MP3 quality.
see, okay,
I'm not saying everyone wants
that's
it.
what I don't
Not
get.
everyone wants it, but there are quite a few like people who do want higher quality audio, like CD quality. So I do feel like that's the only reason some people would choose Apple Music over Spotify, other than the fact that Apple Music works magically with all their services if you're already in the ecosystem.
Yeah, and like if they did,
Yeah,
add that,
I just don't
lot of
understand.
other like Tidal. They had like the exact same thing, right? And they
Yeah.
had, like, Studio
The
Code,
only difference with
right?
Tidal
So
is
if
Tidal
Spotify
is
was to
more.
add it.
Yeah,
people would use
the
it.
only difference with Tidal is it's more expensive, from what I remember. If you actually want
Yeah.
the same quality, it's more expensive. Whereas Apple Music gives it for free alongside the normal subscription price. There's not like an extra tier,
Yeah.
like Tidal does.
Apple Music
I
has
just-
like Dolby Atmos and lossless and stuff. So I can't say I've noticed the difference in terms of like how like crisp the audio is, but I have noticed that like a lot of I have like heard songs where there's dynamic sound and stuff, and I don't believe Spotify has that.
Yeah.
If I recall
No,
correctly.
it doesn't.
You're
have
right,
It, no.
but then at the same time, I think that's not a major feature, and I think that's
Yeah.
a very niche area. Like,
I
when
don't think that's
listen to music,
worth
like, I cannot tell the difference between. I cannot tell the difference between like a hi-fi audio. Like I've had the chance to sample hi-fi audio before, and like to me, like headphones make a difference. Like which kind of headphones you're using, which kind of speakers you're using makes a difference. I personally have never experienced a difference between like normal hi-fi audio and regular like high-quality MP3 or wave audio.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just untrained ears, but I mean I generally have decently trained ears because I'm a musician. But whatever. Anyway, that is I think there's the fact that is increasing price is kind of just maybe just a symbol of like the inflation that the U.S. is going through right now.
The world, actually,
think
really.
that's
The whole
probably
entire
just-
world's feeling it.
Yeah,
so-
really the world. Yeah.
But yeah.
So, yeah.
It sucks. I mean, like, you go to the grocery
yeah.
store now, and it's like everything. Like, I even went to RX Circle to get like a shake. You know how those used to be like $4? It
Yeah.
increased to like $7.
Holy $7 milkshakes?
Yeah,
That's insane.
I know.
That's crazy.
It
I've
sucks.
seen it worse in places. I've seen it worse in some places than that. I've seen shakes that
Yeah.
are like $8-9.
That's crazy.
They were
Inflation's
Here
whack.
in Mississippi, it's kind of just it's still around like $5 probably, but it's not gotten that bad yet.
here in the UK. We
So-
had cheese blocks being put in, like, you know, like those boxes they put like high like value items in to, like, so if you pick it up it'll go
Mhm.
beep beep beep. They put the cheese blocks in
Yeah.
them now because some of them were so expensive. So
Wow.
yeah, we're doing
Cheese
great over here.
blocks
It was totally
in-
fine.
Spider wraps.
Yeah.
Oh
Who
my
knows?
goodness! Like the stupidest thing I've seen though is like at Walmart. When I was working over there, sometimes we'd have to spider wrap the steaks.
Huh.
Like,
That's crazy.
oh my goodness. Yeah.
Huh. Well, I'll tell you what. We have reached the segment. Perrin asked if he could have the part of the podcast to just talk to us about sports aesthetics and design and branding. So, Perrin, I'll tell you what. I'm going to start a 10-minute timer.
Okay.
And we have you have until that timer runs out
Okay.
to go ahead and talk about sports. All right. Are you
All
ready?
right. Okay.
All right.
Can
3,
you count me down?
2, 1. Yeah. Here we go. Sports. Go.
Okay, so the NFL is horrible in terms of uniform aesthetics these days, and it makes me very upset. Okay, so
I would agree with that,
football
yeah.
uniforms, the way football uniforms should look most of the time is you have pants contrasting with the jerseys, and since everything is like super like form-fitting, when you have like all one color from head to toe, like helmet and jersey and pants and socks are all the same color, it looks really dumb. It looks like you're wearing like a skin-tight, like, I don't know what they call it, jumpsuit or whatever. It really doesn't look good. Except that's what everyone thinks is cool nowadays, evidently, with the youngins. And so now everyone has to do like all monochrome just for the fire emojis and stuff, and it makes me very upset. Except not only as a like aside from that, to a lesser extent, sock color is no longer standardized across the team a lot of the time. And so usually you have players wearing socks that don't contrast with the pants, and that also looks bad because it looks like you're wearing yoga pants and stuff. It's just the long-standing rules of football uniform design that have stood for decades at this point are being ignored out of nowhere, and it makes me very angry. And by angry, I mean mildly upset. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, I have more. This is just the beginning.
Yeah, you still got
So-
you got time.
You still have 8 minutes,
Yeah,
25
yeah,
seconds.
go,
Yes,
go, go.
Okay. Okay. So, what's worse is the NFL took back, up until this season, the NFL had a rule where a team could only have like one helmet color as an option. Previously, they would a lot of teams would have throwback uniforms, so they have they'd wear uniforms from like the 80s or 70s or whatever era, just as once in a while, just to spice things up because nostalgia's cool.
One of my
except-
favorite nostalgic uniforms is I'm not sure if you're familiar with basketball very much, but the Memphis Grizzlies throwback uniform is amazing.
Oh, which one? Oh, the teal ones or the green and
Yeah, the teal Vancouver Grizzlies.
I love
yes.
those so much. I want to
Those
bring
are-
back the
they're
Vancouver
so
Grizzlies,
good.
man. They're so
Honestly,
good. It's one of my
Memphis
favorite
is
uniforms
Mem-
ever.
the Grizzlies
Grizzlies uniforms
branding
now
in
are really
general
nice.
is
I like 'em.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've never had a bad look, I think. Anyway,
Yeah,
back to
I
the
would agree.
NFL.
I'd
So they changed that rule, so now teams can not only have throwback helmets that are a different color from the normal one, from their normal standard set, but they can also add alternate helmets. And so now you have like 6 or 7 teams adding black helmets, even if black isn't in their color scheme, just because, you know, all the younger hip fans who think they know what looks good want all black uniforms, even though they've never had black in their color scheme and it looks really bad. It's what
I've seen UT
we
did
in
that
this-
the other day, right?
Huh?
UT did that the other day, right?
Yeah.
They had like, black
Tennessee.
helmets.
I like it with Tennessee actually because they've had black. In
Yeah,
their
I
color
think
scheme
black and orange
historically.
looks cool.
Yeah, and also I think they're doing it tonight actually, and also it's like Halloween weekend. That makes sense. I usually hate it. I'll give it a pass. Okay, because it makes some sense, at least a little bit. You know what doesn't make sense? The Washington Commanders having an all-black alternate uniform. Black has never
Oh,
been
there's
in their
so
color
many problems
scheme.
with the.
Oh, I hate
But
their
there's so many
uniforms so
problems with
much.
Washington
I'm going to
Commanders.
talk about just them right now. Okay, so their uniforms are absolutely atrocious, just in general. Their helmet is absolutely gorgeous, though. I love their helmet. It's got a really nice, like, satin finish. It's, like, really fancy. It looks really nice, where it's, like, a really, like, striking, shimmery shade of burgundy. It looks really, really good. Don't like the logo so much, but it's an amazing helmet. Their home uniform is solid. It's not great, it's solid. It's a good look, it has good color blocking. It looks somewhat like a modernized version of what the, Washington, D.C. has worn in their history. It's probably still one of their worst looks they've ever worn, but it's still like a B-plus football uniform at worst, or B at worst. Their away jersey is nothing like that. It completely ignores the color balance of the home uniform. It's got this stupid, like, pattern in the numbers that looks really weird. It looks like snakeskin. It doesn't look good at all. And it's also in the striping, and there's black in the striping solely so they can justify the all-black alternate later. And there's no... They fill in the sleeve caps, which never looks good. Hang on, I gotta find a picture just so you guys know what I'm talking about. I hate it so much. Ugh, it's awful. It is a perfect example of everything that is wrong with uniform aesthetics nowadays, where it's all monochrome. There's no consistency across each set. There's needless patterns used everywhere. There's all black alternates for no reason. It really doesn't look good at all. Like it looks
you're
like
absolutely
3
right.
different
That is
teams.
not-
This looks like 3 different
absolutely
teams for each uniform. I cannot stand it. Like the red one's good. I wish they had yellow pants because that'd be good with the color balance. It's fine. It's pretty good with the white pants. But the white uniform is horrible.
Yeah,
This
I
might be
agree with
this might be one of my least favorite uniforms in sports. Period. It looks awful. I hate the pattern. I hate how it ditches the serifs from the burgundy set. It's awful. I hate the stupid filled-in sleeve caps. That never has looked good, ever. A bunch of teams have tried it. It's never looked good. Pattern should not be in the stripes. The thin black stripe is all they need to justify having an all-black alternate. Even though black's never been in their color scheme before, that tiny sliver of black in the stripes is what gives them the reason to do this. Because according to NFL rules, you have to have black somewhere in your main set if you want a black alternate. That's
And
in the
this
rules.
this is the
That's
all-white
the
uniform.
only reason they added it. This is the all-white uniform, yeah. In between the striping on the
Yeah, it's
sleeves,
awful.
there's a sliver of black. I hate it so much. This one, you can't really see it. It's got like a camo, again, it kind of looks like snakeskin pattern on the sleeve cap and on the collar and as a stripe going down the side of the pants. You can't really see it in the photos. But it's atrocious. It looks like the Steelers, too. It looks way too close to the Steelers. Another team who wears black and yellow. So that's my rant about
got
them
2
specifically.
minutes.
Okay, so who else is bad? Everything's horrible. Teams are adding alternates that don't make sense. The Jets have a black helmet. The Saints have a black helmet. The Saints somewhat makes sense, but it looks bad. It's got this stupid like fleur-de-lis pattern in the stripe that they stole from the Seahawks. Not the fleur-de-lis, but the concept of making the stripe out of tiny little things. Looks like this. It's not good. And they paired it with their like historical throwback uniforms, which completely ruins the point of their throwback uniforms. They can't match their shades of gold. It's awful. The NBA is pretty bad right now too, because Nike's like they have a city uniform program where every team has an alternate that's tied to the city, and only like a fourth of them look good. And they're very obviously running out of ideas at this point because this is like the 5th year they've had the program. First couple years were fine. Like there were bad ones in the set, but there were, a handful of really good ones. This year there's like 2 that are decent or like worthwhile additions to the team's wardrobe. But it sucks. Everything sucks. It's all for the money nowadays. You know what makes people money? Needless alternate uniforms. And so they make money
That's
off
honestly
of
a
that.
really good point.
It is,
Yeah, 'cause
that's
you not
literally
only
all
make
they
money
do.
on-
Is you make money off
Yeah,
of...
but the creators not only make uniform
Yeah.
money off the uniforms, but they also make money on merch that replicates those
Exactly.
uniforms.
That's what it is. You come up with a new alternate every year. That's another year's worth of merch stuff that you can sell on top of your normal uniform sales. So, yeah, that's my rant. I could say a lot more. I think I'm going to
Try and cram
here.
it in. You might have a bit more time.
You do have 1
the,
minute.
Ram- the Rams and the Falcons and the Cardinals need to redesign their uniforms, and so do the Saints and also the Jaguars. The Jaguars are horrible. Find my redesign stuff on sportslogos.net. It's a thread called Perrin Redesigns the NFL. That's good. That's my stuff. Do what I do. At Nike, you should hire me.
Man's got some ego.
Yeah, I would be way better at this than all of Nike, and they should hire me. That's also my dream job, by the way.
Okay, working at Nike. That's super
At
cool.
ex
honestly.
Nike
That's really-
CEO Phil Knight, give me a call.
You need to give him his phone number.
I feel like in all these episodes, the consistent factor is that we always call out to some celebrity and ask them to either call us or sponsor the podcast or something like
Or
that.
sue
and I
us.
find that
Wait,
really funny.
have I called it?
Or sue us, yes.
I need to call out a celebrity then.
Aaron?
Oh God.
Perrin, I need you to give your feedback on this maybe awful thing. I don't know.
Oh, which one?
The Jazz.
Show me. Oh, I hate the Utah Jazz's uniforms so much. Ugh, can I get an extra minute?
Ugh.
This is the
Oh,
most
that's-
boring sports uniform that's ever existed.
I've
The font is
legitimately never
This is
seen that.
literally like if you go to an NBA video game and you go to
That's
like
it.
the uniform creator for a custom team. This is like the default setting. That's what it looks like.
I would
It's
say
the
this is
most
like
bland-
peak of.
It's the most bland, basic font I've ever seen, with the straight across word mark. This is
It's like
literally
this is like
practice
a
jersey.
peak example of like over minimalism.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
Like it's
okay,
a
so the
great
Utah
example
Jazz,
of that.
the Utah Jazz have used like every single color scheme possible. They went from purple, green, and gold, which is Mardi Gras colors, because they were in New Orleans, and that's why they're called the Jazz still. They went from that, which makes sense, to in the '90s they switched to like more to represent Utah. It was like purple and sky blue and copper and teal, and it was really tacky, but it was also amazing. I love it. It's peak '90s uniform design, and it's amazing. I love it. And then they changed to powder blue and navy and silver, and then they changed to navy green and gold, and then they added alternates that were like a dark red to yellow gradient to represent like the giant rock formations they have in Utah, and that was a fun alternate. And they probably should have gone that direction, but in like blue and purple.
Huh.
And now add on top black and yellow for no reason. They were gonna go with just black and white for no reason, again, just for fun. And the NBA told them no because it looked too close to the Nets and the Spurs. And so they literally just pulled yellow out of nowhere and thought, yes, this is gonna be your next color scheme. It's
I have a
awful.
question for you, Perrin. I have a question. Do you like sports?
What sports?
Do I like sports?
Like, do you like what? Like, I know you like the uniforms, obviously, and you find that interesting. But like,
Oh,
do you like
I'm a
watch
huge
sports,
football
or do
fan.
you-
I'm a huge football
Okay,
fan,
gotcha.
like NFL
Who's your
and
team?
college. Patriots, because I'm from Massachusetts. So
Patriots. Gotcha. Okay. All right,
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I-
I guess that
at
never
least
occurred to me.
I have
was
a
like, I wonder
reasonable
if Perrin
excuse.
actually likes sports.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I like basketball.
Very cool.
No, I don't follow it quite as closely, but I do. I'm a huge fan. My roommate
Gotcha.
likes baseball a lot, so I've been getting a little bit more into baseball. It's still not my favorite sport by any means, but I appreciate it a bit more. You know.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I like sports. Sports are cool. That's my
What do you
rant.
think of what I
I
just
think I'm
sent
done.
in the chat?
I don't like the logo, but I love the uniforms from that era. The logo's a bit much, but it looks amazing on the uniforms.
Which
Well, let's
yeah.
talk about finally last piece of news for the day. It's really quite interesting because I think we talked about this a little bit last time. The fact that, in fact, Musk actually ended up buying Twitter. Like, it's done. Like,
Yeah.
he owns the company now, which is kind of insane considering all the
Yeah.
things we've seen concerning this topic. And he ended up, he brought, on the day he bought the company, he brought a sink into the company and into their main office in San Francisco. And he brought it, and then he tweeted a video of that and said, "Let that sink in." And honestly, I think that's absolutely hilarious. It's like the fact that he brought an actual sink in there just to make that tweet is so beyond funny.
Me and the boys walking into the Twitter headquarters with a sink.
Yep.
Absolutely, I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But on a more formal level, I'm really interested to see how it goes after this, because a lot of the things he said were like he was talking a lot about how Twitter is the new public square, is where information is shared, and therefore it has to have free speech, which he didn't believe the existing platform was doing. So in my opinion, I'll obviously ask for all y'all's opinions after this, but in my opinion, I think it's interesting. I think that his proposition is currently to make a board of people from differing political viewpoints and differing backgrounds. We don't know exactly what form that's going to take yet, but anyway, he's going to let that board all has to agree before making like a major moderation decision. What do y'all think about that?
I think that is okay. I can see that working. To some degree, definitely. I'm not a fan of Elon Musk, like as a person at all. Don't like him.
My opinion
But-
on it.
Sure. I mean, I think the
interested
majority
to see
of
how this
celebrities
goes.
are not. I think
Yeah.
the majority of celebrities are not admirable people.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that.
I think as celebrities go, he's the billionaire I probably like the most. I don't like many billionaires, but I like him probably the most out of all the crazy billionaires.
Yeah, my thoughts on it is it's not going to change. No, because it's not Twitter itself that's the issue. It's the people that use Twitter, which is brain dead morons that don't know what they're talking
Exactly,
about.
yes.
So that's on every end of the political spectrum. I just say that's on either end. That's everyone about
Yes.
everything on Twitter. So you can't fix
Yeah.
something that is fundamentally flawed because the people themselves are flawed. So I think it's not going to change because fundamentally you're expecting the internet to treat Twitter like it's a public hall thing, which just it's not going to happen. It's the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember.
That's a very good point.
I don't know how like realistic this is, but I saw a screenshot of like people who were spouting some like incredibly racist stuff now that they know Elon Musk is in charge and he's not going to do anything to stop it because he apparently believes in free speech with quotes, but it seems like he's not going to be enforcing as much, like, for example, hate speech that would previously get what they would call censored. I think that 100% should not be on Twitter, and I don't think that is anti-free speech to say you are not allowed to say anything racist.
In my experience on
Twitter.
In my limited experience on Twitter, I found that stuff was spewed before and after Elon. Naturally, it's just
Yes, but I'm a bit worried that the kind of people who are already saying racist stuff are gonna feel a bit more encouraged to say racist stuff.
I
Elon
definitely see where y'all are coming from.
And he's not as, strict about enforcing Twitter's guidelines,
Yeah, basically they just kind of realized that, oh wait, Twitter doesn't actually have that good moderation. That was before Elon, and after it, it's not gonna. I don't think it'll get much better, the moderation, because naturally,
I think if anything, it could get a bit worse.
Maybe, but regardless, even if Elon never touched Twitter and just now owns it as the CEO, it's not going to get better, because Twitter fundamentally does not work as it is because of who uses it, and that's on both ends and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't think. I think it will change at some point, but I do definitely see your point about I don't know. I think there's a very, very, very fine line about between free speech versus hate speech and hate speech versus violence. And I know Elon clarified that no content that is directly calling for violence or that is directly advocating for killing somebody or killing a group of people or anything like that is obviously going to be allowed. But I do definitely see that there are some big problems with that, and I do agree with you, Sean. The way Twitter is set up, it's not going to be that public square, even if he tries to make it that way. Just because, like you said, the internet is idiotic.
Yep.
So.
Well, and it sucked before too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like there's nothing Elon can do to try and push his view on his take on free speech that doesn't have the potential to actively make it far worse.
You can clean a turd, but it doesn't make it stop not being a turd.
Yeah.
Exactly, Sean. Sean gets it.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy, actually.
Yeah, a very childish one, but it works. So.
I've heard the phrase lipstick on a pig before, and that could be applied here.
Yeah, that's a good phrase as well. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, for sure, over the next, especially few weeks, as he legitimately fired the CEO and many top executives.
Yeah, that was kind of funny to see his power
as soon as he
trip
got
there.
hired. Yeah, that was interesting, for sure. But I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's Twitter. It is officially owned by Elon Musk.
I mean, I do kind of agree with him deciding to fire some of the higher ups because they already have their heads screwed on.
I definitely think there are.
You
there are
know?
definitely problems with Twitter that can be tangibly fixed to some degree. Problems with bots and stuff and security issues and stuff. And we'll see if Elon Musk can do that well. But in terms of policing content and enforcing guidelines,
Sure.
I don't think much is going to change. If it does change, it's not going to. I don't see it being for the better.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have reached near the end of the episode. We are at the music segment. So,
boy.
Perrin, why don't you talk a little bit about your chosen music sections?
All right. So, I've been listening to a lot of King's Kaleidoscope recently. They're an amazing band. It's
They are. I
don't know how to describe them exactly. It's a mix of rock and alternative, but it's really, I don't want to say fancy. It's really well done. There's anywhere from 8 to 14 members in the band at any time. There's a lot of emphasis on nature imagery, and so there's a lot of funky percussion sounds. It's really, really, really well done. So they've got a bunch of really good albums.
I know I have a song by King's Kaleidoscope that I've liked.
They got a lot of really good stuff. I don't think they have a single bad track that they've made. And they're coming out with a new album soon. So I think they already went on tour and played it in concert, but it hasn't been released yet officially. So I'm excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Okay.
go listen to Wintergone. Wintergone's really cool.
Oh,
It's,
dude, he's a really cool really cool percussion.
Love
artist.
Wintergarten. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, again, a bit difficult to describe their sound. I think the most accurate term I've used to describe them that I've heard is contemporary Swedish folktronica. So it's a lot of
Great
like
genre.
It's a lot of folksy sounds. It's like accordion and dulcimer sometimes, but also it's like, with bass and really good drums. It's like it sounds like metal at times, and other times it's like, oh, I'm just going for a little bike ride in the Netherlands. But it's a really good mix of stuff. It's really, really, really well done. Go listen to them.
Yeah.
They only have like one album, but
Yeah, they're great.
Like you all
awesome.
know who Wintergarten is, right?
Yep.
Micah?
We discussed this a little bit ahead of the podcast, but yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just like,
Um,
I have to make sure like their most iconic song, that Marble Machine. That's what they really got known
yes, yes,
for. Like,
that's what they got known for. It's the Marble Machine. It's
yeah,
insane.
It's got 10 million. It's got 10 million views, or 10 million plays, not views.
yeah.
That's not even
Yeah.
like their best song, I would say. It's up there, but it's like 5 or 6 or 7.
That's what they
I
got known
think.
for. Yeah.
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 Very cool. Well, Sean, why don't you talk about your chosen piece?
So I've chosen Hers, which was a English duo. Unfortunately, they are passed away now. But they, in their short time, made 2 albums that, it's actually kind of hard to describe their sound, but I would say it's a mixture of 80s drums with modern dream pop, especially the guitars, like slide guitars and these very like ethereal sounds.
Nice.
And the vocals are really cool. They're a bit obtuse in certain points. Like, for example, one of their songs called "She Needs Him," the chorus at the very end almost kind of like resembles what's that song? It's the one that has the really high note and it has like the hand-drawn music video. Kind of the name of it. By Aha.
Take on Me?
Take on Me. That's it.
Yeah, Take on Me.
It's like Take on Me's like chorus. How it has like a really high pitch like chorus. It's great. But yeah, they have a really consistent sound. They got both the albums, which are called Songs for Her and Invitation to Hers. I hope you can see the theme there, the names. They both sound quite consistent. They have like a very recognizable sound, but it's a very interesting sound that I've not heard anyone else do. So yeah, and they're also just really catchy. So I hope someone gives them a listen.
I tried to
Very neat.
listen to a couple of their stuff last week. I liked it. It was pretty good.
Oh yeah, I forgot I actually recommended them to you already.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, they're great.
Very cool. That's neat.
Yeah.
So, while Ethan's thinking of something that he wants to talk about, I'm gonna talk a little bit about Juniper Vale, which is it's I believe Nashville-based recording project by an artist named Sarah Jane. Anyway, the genre is percussive banjo EDM almost.
Ooh.
Percussive
And
banjo.
it's a really weird
Wow.
mix between like
Percussive
banjo, EDM, and folk, and it's a really, really unique sound. It's a really solid sound. There's a few songs that are really solid. Fractions is a great. Will I Find My Home is great. There's some acoustic versions of some of the songs that are really cool as well. But anyway, it's a really unique sound. Structurally, the songs are very much poppy, but like I said, they've got kind of like that folk influence because of the banjo and just the sound. She released an album this year called Suddenly What, which is it's pretty good. It's a little more of the folk side of things than the first album, which is Everything Is Color. But it is definitely worth at least a listen to Fractions and Will I Find My Home, because those are both just really phenomenal songs with a really unique style that I have personally never seen anything like it. So it's really solid.
Cool. What about you, Ethan?
Nice.
Have you figured out anything?
Honestly, I'll probably get a lot of hate for this, but I don't care. Tom MacDonald came out with a new song called Sheeple. And it's actually a solid hit. Like, He has a lot of stuff that's like meh, but then he has a lot of okay. But Sheeple's like really not bad. He
Interesting.
has
What genre are we talking here?
So this is like rap that makes fun of everything wrong with the world.
Interesting. It's like
Yeah.
meta rap kind of.
I
Interesting.
don't know. So he used to be a pro wrestler, and something happened, and he just started like rapping, and it's like hilarious, but sad at the same
That's
time.
where you go. That's where you go once your wrestling career is over. Is you go straight to becoming a rapper.
It's
Or
like,
an
I would say
actor.
it's like wrestlers and YouTubers are the two people who go to rap after their careers.
Football players too.
yeah.
Football
So, like,
players, too.
There's Sheeple. There's
Football
the
players,
System,
yeah.
There's, let's see, what's another? Snowflakes is hilarious, cause, and People So Stupid's another good one. Brainwashed is okay. Let's see, yeah, but he has like a lot of bangers, and a lot of like meh, but a lot of bangers. Like if you're ever like feeling like
Speaking
angry or whatever, you just turn out one of his songs and then you're just jamming and you're like headbanging.
Speaking of bangers, I discovered the other day there's a group of people at my school. They call themselves the Nasty Boys of MC, and they make rap songs about the school. So like their last song was like a diss track on the cafeteria, and it was absolutely hysterical. It's let me
Nice.
see if I can find a link. Y'all probably won't get some of the references, but
Oh, and there's no way.
it's still absolutely hilarious if you want to take a
Yeah.
listen to it.
When I was in high school, one of the students made a Facebook page where they'd make fun of like some of the teachers that like would be really strict or whatever. And one of the guys, one of the teachers' last name was McGinnis, so they called him McGinnis the Menace. It's like, and other words I
McGinnis the
can't say
Menace.
here, but it was but yeah, it was pretty funny. And then they got told to take it down. But for that brief moment in time, there was this brilliant Facebook page. The only time I actually used Facebook in, the last few years that I actually enjoyed. But yeah.
I tried creating a Facebook account at one point so I could access Facebook Marketplace, which is a solid place to buy used stuff, but it would not let me. It would not let me do that.
Yeah,
which is
no,
You've been
annoying.
spared.
It would not let me
An
create the
account
account.
for, like-
I created the account multiple times, and I would just get insta banned like every single.
That's
time.
probably a good-
that
that's
happened
probably
to
a
me,
good
like, when I
thing.
first made my Facebook account, and all I had to do was like wait a month, and then I could use Marketplace.
Oh, I'm locked
So-
out of my Behance.
What? How'd that happen? What
I
did
have
you do?
no idea what happened, but I got I didn't do anything.
Parent, what did you do?
I got completely. Every time I try to log into Behance. By the way, I pronounce it Behance. I noticed last week, Sean, that you pronounce it Behance. I think it's because I learned Latin for like 4 years.
See,
and in Latin,
this is the problem.
The little macron on the E makes an A sound in Latin, so I pronounce it Behance.
Okay,
Anyway,
nerd.
just one day.
But
Anyway.
I'm in Mississippi, which is why I pronounce it Behance.
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 Nice.
And then I'm just.
Anyway.
And then my excuse is I'm just dyslexic.
It makes me
so-
sound pretentious, which I'm always sound for. Anyway,
Behance.
I just can't. It doesn't let me log in for whatever reason. I can't figure out why.
It's
It just
just-
doesn't let me. Like my
Behance.
passwords are good. I've tried resetting it. I've like contacted customer service and we're just like, hey, I can't log in. What's the deal? And they just like ask me a million questions about like, oh, is it like just your browser, or oh, is like your password right? And the answer to all of these questions is yes, I'm doing this right. I've tried everything I can think of. It just doesn't want me to log in. I don't know if I got shadow banned or whatever, but
Yeah, you're just too good.
it's not letting me in.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had stuff
The
I gotta
Nike
post
people
there.
felt threatened, so they hired
Ah.
Behance to
Dang it.
remove
Collusion.
you from the
Yeah, the
platform.
Oh,
the
well,
Behance
just
secret
post it on my
police.
website. Yeah, I don't think Adobe has a problem with me, considering I post the stuff on my portfolio site anyway. So don't think it matters too much.
Well, let's go
But,
ahead
but-
and since we're wrapping up the episode, why don't you tell us where we can find that? Where can we find your
Alrighty,
portfolio site?
So you can find me over at Dribble at dribble.com/Parent Designs. You can find me at Behance, even though I won't be able to post since I'm locked at behance.net/parent designs. You can find me over on Instagram at instagram.com/parent.designs. Parent Designs.
Parent
is
dot
taken,
Designs.
I believe.
Nice.
Yeah. You can find me on sportslogos.net as Perrin. You can find me on Scratch as Perrin, but with an L instead of an I, because Perrin is taken. You can find me over on my website at Perrin-designs.myportfolio.com. And the only reason there's a hyphen in there is because I tried making a My Portfolio
taken?
site a while ago before I bought the Adobe Suite, and I
Oh.
already accidentally reserved the domain of Parent Designs without a hyphen. So now I had to add a hyphen. So I was shaking my fist at my former self when I was setting my website up.
Past
So, yeah,
past
you can
parent,
find me
you're a
over there
jerk.
as well. Exactly. If only I knew.
Yeah.
This website's better anyway, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, so yeah, that's
Yeah.
where you can find me.
Is there anything else you want
Good
to
to be
promote?
here. Go to sportslogos.net. It's a cool site if you like sports logos at all. And I know you don't. There's like going to be maybe one person out there who ever listens to this who cares about sports logos. Also, Brand New by Under Consideration is an amazing blog. It's like $20 a year. You should subscribe to it. It's got all the branding changes of companies like in the worldwide, I think. And it's awesome. It's a great tool for like seeing for inspiration and like seeing brandings and like also seeing what works and what doesn't. And there's like a comment section and they will pick everything apart and it gives you a good feel for like what works when it comes to branding. I use it all the time. I highly recommend it. I think that's it.
Gotcha. Very cool. Well, I'm Micah. You can find me at michaellinley.com. All my social platforms are available from there.
I'm Sean, and you can find me on my server or on Scratch under the name Da with a dash in the middle. Ethan, are you alive?
Yeah, do you think?
And I am Ethan. You know, the your a host, and you can find me. You can actually find me right now by
Don't you mean to say you're friendly host?
Yeah, previous host,
What?
like ex-host, because now Perrin's the new host. but-
Ex-host. I stole his job.
Yeah, and his bones,
Sorry, man.
and his bones.
Ouch.
It's nothing personal. It's just making.
So yeah.
You can find me actually right now by googling Ekman and my knowledge panel will pop up, so that's dope.
Flex.
Or like, honestly, guys, just go to my LinkedIn. LinkedIn.com/Ekman. Yeah, everything's there.
Awesome. And if y'all haven't already, join the Discord server. There's a link at discord.michaellinley.com. Next episode, we might have another guest. We might not. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.
Alrighty.